You're listening to the Q News podcast, where we talk about the best bits of Queanbeyan and surround. This podcast is proudly brought to you by Hair and Fawn, the ultimate Queanbeyan hair salon experience where country charm meets indulgent luxury. Hair and Fawn is located on the main street. Head to hair, H-A-R-E, and fawn.com.au to book an appointment now. Enjoy the episode.
Fucking amateur hour over there.
That's amateur hour, yeah.
All right, let's get stuck into it. Let's talk our favourite subject, rugby league in Queanbeyan. How are you, fellas?
Very good, thank you, Bree.
Look at me, I am Maddie Johns. Just call me Maddie. So let's talk today about the mighty, mighty Blues. I want to talk to you, Rocky, about what it was like back in the day, and I want to talk to Jez about what's the future of the Blues and how do we get them from 7th on the ladder moving forward, moving up? What's your strategies? So let's start with you, Rocky. How old were you when you started playing for the Blues?
We moved to Queanbeyan in 67, September. And so obviously 68 was my first year under 13s. And went through, obviously, through the 15s, 16s, 17s, 19s, and grade. So, it's when we hit grade, it was, going back to the fifth, Lionel Coleman was our original coach, and one of his boys, Jimmy Coleman, God bless his soul, it was his dad who took over us for a couple of years, and then Mick Doyle took us over in, it might have been 69 and 70. We won the comp in under 15s, 1970. And Mick Doyle went on to coach reserve grade, and he was a very good footballer, Doyley.
Oh, yeah, Mick Doyle's a famous name, isn't it?
Yes, Adam and Sean.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yes,
Dad.
Yes. No, you're a beautiful man, and God bless his soul as well.
Yeah.
But, but to get into grade, it taught us a lot on fitness levels with Brian Burke and Don Ferner being head coach. And it stuck with me for the rest of my life. The way we were taught fitness levels, respect as well to all different players and opposition, and just the integrity that they gave us in those senior years and the junior years. It was just remarkable, and it stuck with me ever since. To be a professional footballer, and we were taught at a young age, and it stuck with me ever since.
So could you be from anywhere? Did you have to be from Queanbeyan to play like grade footy in the 70s and 80s?
Look, here you go. I recall 76, 79. We had a first grade Blues versus reserve grade Blues, and reserve grade beat the first grade. And they had John Ballasty, Jimmy Morgan. They had some good players. Johnny Stone, Cliffy Boyd. They had some really good footballers. Admittedly, it was only a trial, but we weren't going to get beat.
The second graders were the Queanbeyan boys,
yes,
and the first graders were from.
Oh no, there was
out-of-towners.
There was a few out-of-towners, but there was half a dozen juniors in there as well. And you go up and down. And Stevie Hook, there's another classic example of front row junior Blues. He went through, and he's a great man too, Hookie. He's one of the rats with the early days.
Last year.
That surprises me, that commitment to fitness. When you think of, rugby league in the 70s, I just think of, a bunch of blokes who turn up after work for training, who turn up on the weekend and they're smoking and drinking and don't really care. But you're saying you were a pretty disciplined side back then.
All 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday was mad hour. After a weekend of football and booze,
Monday night.
Where
did you go? Leagues Club.
Yeah, the Leagues Club. Yeah, because they were our major sponsor. Yeah, obviously. And then we played Sundays then too. Those days, not only Saturday and recover on Sunday.
Oh no!
So there was a lot of RDOs happening on the Mondays.
So if you'd had a big night Saturday and you had to play hungover on the Sunday, then turn up to training Monday.
Well. That was pretty well frowned upon. Oh yeah, no big night Saturdays. If you did, you had to go and hide.
How do you get man of the match the next day?
Well, exactly.
You weren't going to get man of the match. And so who were some of the big names from back then? Who are the names people? You got Mick Doyle. You've got the
Well, locally, there was Steve Hewson, Mick Doyle,
Yeah.
Stevie Hook. Geez, I hope I'm not going to forget a few names. And there's David Reed, who went and played for Raiders, and injuries, unfortunately, really hammered him. And coming through the ranks, you got Johnny Osborne, you got Kimmy Sherd, you got Kenny Beisel, and there's no Herbie Rowder, James Matheson.
Oh yeah.
God bless their souls as well.
Yeah.
And they were two great footballers.
And what position did you play?
I started out on the wing and then up front row. I couldn't go any further.
That means you're useless when you're on the wing.
Pretty well. I wasn't even quick. Get out. So I played all positions. I've gone from fullback to wing to front row now, and on the bench, of course.
And so, is it true when the Canberra Raiders wanted to launch a team in the NRL? Sorry, when Canberra was thinking about a team, that they stole the Queanbeyan Blues players? That they just kind of said, "We'll take this team that are good and from around the area and
14
put them
of
in the
first
big
grade.
league."
Of the 81 team, 14 of the first grade team went to play with the Raiders.
Really?
Yeah, there wasn't many left. I think
You
Tony
didn't
Marmot.
get a Guernsey, mate?
No, I did go on that. I had one training run, and then Berkey made me carry Dave Grant up and down the hill, and that did me. Yeah, fireman carry over your back, on your shoulders.
God.
Yeah, and David Grant wasn't a small lad, but no. So yeah, one trainer run that did me. But yeah,
But you were already a disciplined, fit, good team.
Yes.
That could just slot into that role for the NRL.
Yeah. I mean, didn't win that many games at first up, but obviously,
Yeah.
there was different levels, of course. And then, they handed a few other players from different clubs, Sammy Bacargo. There was Frank Roddy as well from Queanbeyan. But, they picked and chose, Pinky O'Grady, all that first era. There was, I think, Paul Martin, made from Westport Connor. I think he might have been one of the first ones as well.
Yeah, right, yep.
Toots. So that was, we picked, what
Who was Toots back then?
Toots Krager
Oh.
from Crookle.
Oh, so how's he related to Jared?
Is
he an uncle or a-
Are they?
Yeah, I think they're somehow related for sure.
Yeah.
Well, then Jared
closer to
became
Jason.
Toots. Jared is Toots now.
Yeah.
So he took
But
that
Jason's
nickname.
probably the Crookle Crocus, isn't he?
Yeah.
Jason
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Jason is definitely.
Yeah.
So do you reckon what was the spirit of the Blues back then, and does it still kind of endure today?
Oh, look, it was great. We did have good spirit because we had great camaraderie. We go back to the club and, get on it and have drinks, and we have player and things like that. It was still happening today, and which you've got to do. And we gelled, and a lot of us blokes that were just on the verge of the first grade, and in the Reggies, we call them, we all grew up together as well. So we're all great mates, and we had great team spirit anyway. Like your Rabbit Hunter, Tommy Enyaq, all those type of blokes, and just coming through, Nick Delaquila, and it's just we had ability right throughout. And same as the Blues juniors now, you've got the ability coming right through all different grades and different ages, and so we, and the discipline. You learnt the discipline under Brian Burke as a fitness fanatic. You didn't do it, back up the hill. Yeah.
Where's the hill that you're talking about?
It's at Taylor Park, down the bottom end, closer to the Seaford Oval entrance, and there's a hill just going right up to the fence of Seaford Oval.
Yep.
With that, so up and down. Yeah, you drop the ball, get around, get back up the hill. Someone's slacking if Brauny wasn't doing it properly, right over. 10 push-ups, then get back up the hill. And everyone done it, not that one person. The whole squad. Because we had the 19s Reggies in first grade, all trained together on the Monday night. So we all gelled together. So that was, you're the team bonding for the fitness levels. Yeah.
And so when you mentioned before that you'd celebrate, what's this rumor about a porn and prawn night? What was that about?
Well,
Was that every week, or was that an annual event? Or
well, we could we might have had one a year or two a year. That was just fundraising for trips away. especially when the Raiders came in, like, we didn't have a lot of money. We didn't have the backing from the club like we did originally before the Raiders came in. So we had to try and earn our way, show to the club that we could support ourselves.
Oh, God.
And so we had to come up with different events, and the Pawn and Prawn nights were, they were magnificent. I can say we raised a lot of money.
I just can't picture it. Like what it's just so you could never get away with it now.
No.
It's not watching porn. It's like actually
It's
having women there.
Women on stage.
Oh, on stage.
Yes.
And what? Just and a nice big feed of prawns to go with it.
Oh, you have prawns and oysters.
Prawn cocktail.
Yes, and all spread out, and you pay a certain amount. I probably still got tickets at home, but yeah, you pay a certain amount of money to go, and then we also, you have the show, but we have the Crown and Anchor unders and overs, and we have different games, which is illegal gambling, and we had some really good blokes on the tables who knew what they were doing, and honest as well, so there was no money going underhand, so we raised a lot of money that way through the gambling side of it. Yes, so it was a good night.
Things were just so much better in the 70s.
Oh, look, we had kegs set up and everything. So it was underneath the show.
But I hear that other clubs stole the idea of Pawn and Prawn Night for fundraisers.
Yeah, look, I'd like to take the credit for us to
you came up with it.
For us to incorporate the first one. I'm pretty sure that we were one of the first clubs around that, and got away. We had different premises around Queensland which we could utilise, and because we had some sponsors who had warehouses, and so safe spots. Yeah, exactly. Yes, and it's so and it had plenty of room. We could build a stage. We had scaffolders there where they built a stage for us, and then we do that, and then we'd have.
All right, enough. Yes, Rocky. Yes, we don't need the details, mate. We don't need to know how you. We're not going to do another one. I don't think the Queanbeyan police would be.
No footage. No, there was no phones those days too. No social media, which was
no video cameras.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, correct. So, how does it feel to be a blues player in recent years? Because they've struggled a bit. Let's be honest.
Look, they have. It's a sad
first grade team.
Yeah, the first grade, and you know what? And
why is it sad?
Well, it hits the heart because I'm a blues junior. And to see them struggle like they did last year was pathetic for what they endured and to where we were. We have never forfeited a game ever at first grade until last year. And then, and that's since 1928, I think. That's a long time since not forfeiting a game. And it was bad enough not having a reserve grade, let alone to forfeit the first grade. So I got hold of Frank Cleary and JR and Tommy Ellsworth. I said, we had a meeting. As soon as I found out, I had numerous phone calls to me, what's going on with the Blues? They've just forfeited. I said, look, leave it with me and we'll try and get to the bottom of this. And I had an immediate meeting with those three lads, and I said, well, we've just got to get rid of what's happening and get rid of the bad element, and then we've got to move on. And JR, Frank said, or Tommy, actually, Slicky said, well, there's only 3 more games to go. I said, just let it lie, and then we can build for next year. And hence, that's why I've come back on the committee. And Brauny's, Jeremy Braun's taken over as first grade coach, and we've got Jeremy Osborne.
Stop for a sec. Wayne.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah, Jeremy Osborne, reserve grade, and Kenny Carwilla, 19s, all former Queanbeyan Blues juniors have taken helm at the club, which is fantastic.
So, why did the Blues forfeit last year? What was that about? No one wanted to play.
Injuries and numbers, yeah.
Oh, injuries and numbers.
Yeah. The numbers weren't great from start, but then when injuries combined, just...
And what did you think when you heard they'd forfeited?
I was at the club coaching the 19s at the time, and a lot of our guys went up that probably weren't ready, but very brave of them to go up and play a local derby against the Roos, 17-year-olds. And to be honest, on the day, they held their own too. Yeah. Those guys I was a little bit concerned for going up into first grade that day. Yep. They held their own. So it's unfortunate they had the be thrown in at the deep end. Their first grade debuts should have been in better circumstances, but it is what it is.
Because that's special when you make, your first grade game. It's a special moment. I mean, you like it to be under a bit better circumstances.
Oh,
that's
sure.
all right.
And especially them being juniors coming through the.
Oh,
grade.
definitely.
Yeah.
And these guys, look, Cooper Lascott, for example, he's wanted to play first grade for the Blues since
he could walk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
pretty much. So there's nothing going to stop him. Like I said, I was a bit cautious about him playing, but nothing was going to stop him on the day, and he went out there and he did really well. But like looking back, he would have wished he'd done it around a more senior group that could have helped him out a bit more.
Yeah, it's that leadership and mentorship of the older blokes, that just they were probably missing.
But he'll get that opportunity again in a better side. And although that day means a lot to him, I'm sure the next time he does it will be equally as enjoyable for him.
Yeah. What? So what's the plan, Brauny? How are you going to take him from 7th? Even up a couple of rungs of that ladder.
It's not going to be too hard, I don't think. The best thing around bringing 6 other coaches in to help in the other grades, all ex-Blues blokes, all played first grade for the Blues, and I'm pretty sure all have won comps for the Blues. So they know what success looks like. They know what the club looks like when it's healthy and successful. So we're sort of just going back to what we know, what makes clubs tick, and a bit like what Rocky said before. We're devoting Tuesday nights, all 3 grades train together.
Wow.
That hasn't been a part of, or definitely wasn't a part of last season. But we're just going back old is new again, basically. We're not professionals, so the boys do it all for fun and enjoyment. Some players get paid, but at the end of the day, they're doing it because they love the game and they love the camaraderie and they love the club. So first and foremost, not to mention also our first 6 sessions this year, the girls are involved as well from our KFS side and from the OzTag side. So we had essentially 5 grades, 5 teams there training together, doing some fitness together. So it was really good to get that, just to get that bond back, get our identity back a bit. Even our first training session, we had members of committee that turned up to that session that I dare say haven't been to local training sessions for years.
No.
Yeah, right.
So,
everyone's back.
Oh, from the outset, I mean, look, we don't want to look too often back at what happened last year. Last year happened, but
We move on.
I think good things can come from it.
Yes.
The Blues are a successful club, always have been. And I guess suffering a year like last year, a lot of people just sit back and expect the Blues to go well. I mean, it was only 2 years ago they were in the grand final. So we forget how recent that was. But one bad year, I mean, probably the worst on record. But in saying that, since then, the amount of people in the community have reached out and said, geez, what can we do to help? Like, for a long time, the Blues are so successful. So when you're not involved, you're just thinking, oh, the Blues are fine. They don't need help. But it was good to see one bad season, the amount of people that come out of the community in the community
And say, how can we help?
who actually
What
are
can we
Blues
do?
people, that you forget. People forget how many people are actually Blues people.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. So
this-
is there an energy around this year? Is there a...
Oh, you can feel it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's it doesn't hurt bringing back those other guys in this coaching staff as well. They got their networks. They got their players they played when they played. So we're expecting a pretty good old boys day this year, and not to mention better numbers at games. Just because there's a few more people who are in the community with their networks that will hopefully drag people to the game, or at least want to pay more attention to how we're going. So it's exciting. We've got a girls team that won the 2nd division last year, and they've only improved this year. So they've just recently run a pre-season knockout, so they're looking really good. And our under-19s are a squad that are mainly made up of 17s team from last year who won the comp undefeated. So it's exciting times. The team behind them coming through, the 16s and 17s behind them, are also very competitive in their age groups. So we're very lucky at the Blues where our biggest strength is our juniors. So it's about nurturing them through and putting them around the right senior guys to set the right examples and show them what it takes. Basically, just similar to what Rocky and I experienced as we came through as juniors.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Who are the players you're excited about this year?
I've signed. Well, there's only 4 or 5 that stayed. So
Yeah, right.
we had our work cut out to sign
Rebuild
some
the
players.
team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had to get moving fairly early. So I've been busy with coffee meetings and text messages and phone calls. So to single out one would be probably unfair because
Yeah.
I'm excited about.
All of them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The combination.
Every single one of them I
Yeah.
met with face to face over a coffee before signing them, and their characters were equal to their playing ability, which is important. We want good people there. You could just really tell sitting down with them face to face, getting eye contact, and having a good conversation with them that they're good, genuine people. So first and foremost, that ticked the first box, and then we talk about football and other things and what was important to them, and we'd speak about the club. And to their credit, they were all pretty keen to jump on board, even after last year's results. I was really happy that those guys have showed faith and come to join the club. We've got a fair few juniors back as well that, for one reason or another, haven't played for a couple of years. So it's good to have them back as well. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Would you say that the blue spirit is in full force at the moment?
Oh yeah, we wanted to get it there. Like there's a lot of people a lot of new players at the club. We've had a few at trainings. We have a few little talks here and there throughout the pre-season about the Blues history, how strong a club we are, just to give a bit of information amongst the group that don't really know the Blues.
Those new players you've signed, are they Queanbeyan people?
Not all of them.
Blokes?
No, not all of them. So that's why.
So how far afield have you gone?
New Zealand, Wagga. So it's the way the competition's structured these days. It's encouraged to sign from outside the group. So instead of stealing players from
other teams,
your other teams,
Oh, yeah.
they make it harder to do that with the point system they've got in place. But which is fine. I never wanted to target any of our opponents. Looking outside the group wasn't an issue. It was just about networking and using some contacts to
Get the right players.
and find the right players. So.
And when you were a junior blue, what were you good at? What could you see in a game that you now bring to coaching?
Oh, well, I was a playmaker and a talker. So yeah.
He didn't even flinch when he said that. He's like,
Yeah,
playmaker.
well, I guess.
A talker, I
Yeah.
knew that one. What's a playmaker do?
Oh, he's sort of the general, I suppose. So
Yeah.
where you play with other players who make big runs and can go the full length of the field and score amazing tries. That wasn't me. Yeah, it was.
Sets up tries.
I was more saying where to go
Yeah.
and give it to me when we needed a kick or that sort of.
You're the strategist in a way. You're the
that sort
thinker.
of role.
Yeah.
Playmaker.
And meanwhile, there's Rocky on the wing just
Give it to me.
smoking a dart and checking out the chicks in the crowd.
Yeah, well, there's a role-
shit,
there's a
there's
role
a
for
game on.
Yeah.
Mate, what? Are you a Raiders fan now, Jez?
Yeah,
Or
I
are you
guess
still
so.
a Bulldogs fan?
No, I was Bears, but
The
Yeah.
Bears. Rocky.
no, keep a close eye on the Raiders. Yeah.
Jez used to make me, because he had no boy cousins, he had a brother Tim, and then there was me and Tim versus Jeremy, and Jeremy was always Stevie Mortimer for the Bulldogs. And then we were Para, of course, the opposition. And Tim was Ray Price and I was Eric Growth on the wing. So I was a winger too, mate.
Oh, there you go. You know what it's like being on the wing.
Yeah, but Jeremy was a one-man show. He used to beat us every
Of
time.
course.
Yeah.
Imagine if there was a pathway for you. You could have stuck with it. You could
I
have
know.
kept playing.
Oh, yeah. I'll make a good front rower now. Let's be real. I'd be bloody good at it. This is so good to just talk about the future of the Blues and be positive and, off the back of a hard year. And it's just so exciting because it is a club that, everyone's got a family member who's played for the Blues at some point or another, It's pure Queanbeyan. Tell me about the rivalry with the Roos. Do you enjoy the local derbies? And is there a relationship between the clubs or not really?
In our day, I can recall, like Steve Hewson, he was a fantastic footballer. He refused to go and have a drink at the Roos Club.
Oh.
That was just wasn't on for him. Even though he was a good sportsman and whatever, and a good footballer at that, he just refused. And I won't say what he called them.
Well, they weren't invited to Pawn and Prawn night. Let's just say that. Although I heard the Baker boys did attend one, so maybe they were friends.
Actually, I think you'll find Ian Baker did play with the Blues at one stage.
Did he just?
Oh no, it was a Masters game.
Oh,
hang on. I had to. No,
the controversy.
Correct. That was a Masters. Yes. But with we showed a lot of respect after the games. We did go and have drinks, except Shovel, of course, but went back up there and they did the same on at Seaford Oval. And in later years we had the down under room at the underneath the grandstand, and that was a lot of fun down there too. It was so easy to get there, go and have a shower, and you're out the clubhouse straight away. But no, the Roos, and the rivalry, it still stands today. That'll never be lost. Roos Blues. That's the
frenemies.
Game. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Friendly, but wary.
Yeah. Oh, exactly right. Yeah, and now with Brauny, I mean, he'll have to answer that himself. What it's like now.
Yeah, there's no doubt that it's not as fierce as it once was. I remember hearing rumours growing up about how the losing side wouldn't even go out in Queanbeyan that night because you'd be too embarrassed to be seen in town after losing the derby. I remember going to plenty as a kid and with my mates and standing on the sideline and thinking, wow, like it was on. Yeah, it was pretty full on. Yes. I guess these days a lot of players cross over to both now. So it's not as probably not as fierce as it once was, Rock, I wouldn't think. But
it's not.
Don't get me wrong, there's still great enjoyment about winning the game when the two teams play, so that it's always definitely more spicy. But I think the fact that players have come and gone from both clubs recently more often, it happens more often than it used to. So it's sort of,
You wouldn't have done that, go and play for the other club.
Yeah, switching those between Roos and Blues now isn't frowned upon as probably it once was. So, yeah.
Exactly right, yeah.
Someone pointed out to me on the weekend that Blues Roos is Blues Maroons. Blues versus Maroons.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, fierce rivalry. One last question for you, Brawny, would be, if you get to the end of the season and look back, what does success look like for you? Where do you want to go? What do you want to have achieved?
Oh, look, I think first and foremost, last weekend we fielded 5 teams in pre-season games already this year, and next weekend into round 1 we'll be fielding 5 teams. So there's already success already. To be honest, we all, don't get me wrong, all 5 grades we've got grand finals as our targets and goals. We're not just out there to fill the numbers. Yeah, exactly. So although we're very happy with where we're at the moment, like just to field the five teams. We've got different goals in place for each team, and we want to be successful in every grade. So, I mean, as quickly as things went downhill, we're hoping that things can go back uphill. So, yeah.
Awesome. You reckon Kenny Cole will ever get a Guernsey as the first grade coach or what?
Oh, I think he'll put a jumper on.
He's doing well, Kenny.
Is he going to get a run this year? Oh, shit.
He's got a good rapport with those kids already. The Niners kids are really enjoying his coaching. They probably enjoy his off-field antics even more.
Yes, I can see that.
They'll have an enjoyable year. They really will, because Kenny's actually, and Celeste, for Tooley, who helps him, they're better coaches than they actually know that they are. I watch them and how they talk to the boys and how they communicate, and even their knowledge on the game. And the boys are very lucky to have them. It's
That's awesome.
Them two guys have real futures as coaches for sure.
Make it easy by the time the 19s get to you.
Oh yeah,
they're good. They're all sorted.
Yeah,
no, they're a good group. And that 19s squad should dominate future first grade teams for sure, which is exciting. Yeah,
That is.
yeah.
Awesome.
Very.
Thanks very much, lads.
All
No worries at all.
good. Been a pleasure.